hello everybody, and guess what time it is? It's time for another Rob Blog. Now I call it Rob Blog. I know it's a vlog, I understand it's a vlog, but I call it Rob Blog because it's my blog and I can call it what I like. Well, welcome in today. Hope everything is going fine and dandicles in your life. Did you see where this past week we hit more than 40 million people in this country, more than 40 million Canadians. And I'm not sure if that counts landed immigrants or whether it's actual Canadian citizens. I must look that up. But there's more than 40 million of us. And when you think back, if you're old enough to remember, 1967 centennial year, the Canada song mentioned 20 million Canadians. So since 67, we've doubled that and more so, and still growing. So happy Canada Day to us, a little bit ahead of time, but 40 million people, and you know what that means? That means more tax dollars, and that means we need more housing too. And then the interest rates are going up, and it's too depressing to talk about. I'm just going to stop right there. 40 million of us, yay! Well, back a few days ago, I looked at my radio station, one of my two, Swish, the Island's Golden Classics, and Starlight. And Starlight had a box that come up, and it said, there is another ISP, a computer, with this same ISP address, and that can't happen. So what it did is it partially froze the screen. So things were not playing properly. And so I do remember, I'm sure I remember this happening before. And so I had to reboot the computer a couple of times, restart the program 2 or 3 times. It took me well over an hour to get Starlight back up and running. And then I thought, well, if you could only have one ISP per computer, was somebody hacking into my Starlight? I looked at the countries that were listening to Starlight at that time. What do you think I found? I hear you yelling it out. Russia. Yes, there were people in Russia listening to Starlight Radio when that little sign came up and said you can only have one ISP. Another computer has the same ISP. Now, I am no computer expert, ladies and gentlemen out there in Blogland. I am not an expert, but I'm just saying. And here's the other thing. In the last few weeks, a couple of times in the middle of the night here on Vancouver Island, 2, 3 in the morning, we have heard helicopters and planes going over top. And the first thing I think of, I'll bet you that's Putin sending his aircraft over Canada. And when you think of it, Russia's pretty close to us. It's just up island a bit and a bit to the left. Just a little left turn. So, who knows? And if they're coming from Russia at some time, especially if the government is going to sell that big Russian aircraft that's sitting on the tarmac at Pearson International Airport in Toronto, oh God, all hell is going to break loose. And then, indeed, if Putin starts sending helicopters and planes and fighter jets and that over to Canada, it's going to come right over us first. Because, as I said, Russia is just up there a bit in the left-hand turn from where we are in Maple Bay on Vancouver Island, British Columbia, Canada. Anyways, it's something to think about. If they sell that big plane there at Pearson in Toronto, and as I said, up island from us in Maple Bay and a left-hand turn and you got Russia. Yeah, it could happen. We'll just have to see how it plays out. Oh, and that plane, my goodness, if they give the money after selling it to Ukraine, oh, the S-H-U-U-T, the shoot is going to hit the fan. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen out there in Blogland, thank you so much for watching this Rob Blog. I know it's a vlog, but I call it Rob Blog because it's mine and because I can. Have yourself a good time. Welcome to all those new Canadians and the 40 million of us here from sea to sea to sea to a bunch of water in the Great Lakes. We'll talk to you soon. Bye now, everybody. Bye. Have yourself.